All right, there we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me. Today is Legacy Builders Community Masterclass Day, brought to you by Webb's Enterprises, LLC. We are starting a new series. And we're going to be covering the client getting strategy. We are starting the client getting strategy within the legacy value system. And thank you all for those who did our one-on-ones. I saw a few people this week. Saw Catherine. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Richard Bellamy for coming into the legacy value system. Great to have you. George, I think George is going to also come into one of our offers. And I think Andre White, Monday, Andre White, he's coming in. So I see the one-on-ones are working. If you have not scheduled your one-on-one strategy with me yet, you're missing a blessing, right? All we're doing is just going over what you're working on. It's free, right? I'm going to give you some guidance as far as any questions you want to ask me for 1 hour. We'll go through it. And anything that you may have questions about the group, I'm right here with you. So please know people are taking advantage of this. And I want you to as well. It's about 422 people in our group, right? It's 422 people. And I know this is a numbers game. There's only maybe about between five to 10 that stay active, right? I want to see that grow to 50. I want to even see 100, right? So let's make sure we stay active in the group. I'm currently making sure that everybody is here. And just make sure if anybody else is missing. Okay. Ajayi responded. Let me see, Ajayi. If you want to come in, come on in. Mary, I see you, Mary. Okay. All right. So I like the interactions that we're getting from a few people. Again, we have 422 people in this group, and I want to see more interactions. We have some good content. We just launched a new offer. If you have not scheduled your one-on-one strategy with me yet, again, last call, go ahead and get on my calendar, DM me today, because today we're getting into the client getting strategy. And part one is called the money flow. Okay. We're going to go over today the money flow, which is part one, because here's the thing when it comes to client getting and strategy. Most of us know how to deliver what we have as far as our products and services. For the most part, we know how to deliver. But getting those clients, getting them to pay and closing them, it takes some work. And I realized that. So guess what? I put together a series between now and probably the first week of December to really go over this client getting strategy that we do within the legacy value system. And I want to give credit to Bulletproof Entrepreneur John Whiting. Thank you, John, for your system that has been working for me and my clients. I'm going to always give credit where credit's due. Thank you, John Whiting. All I'm doing is just reteaching what he's able to do already in his business. I'm just modeling the same exact thing. I'm crediting my resources. I always cite my sources. I didn't come up with this, and he himself has said out of his own mouth, he didn't come up with this. He's just using the strategy. So guess what? I'm going to do the same thing. Okay? So before we get started, I'm going to pray and jump in. Lord Jesus, we thank you as always for an opportunity to learn on these calls. Thank you, God, for value. Thank you for the opportunity to present this content for people to get engaged. And those who took advantage of one-on-one calls and any offers, I thank you for being able to minister the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you for those who've gotten through breakthroughs, for those who've been able to see value in this group. And I pray that they will see value in this presentation. Holy Spirit, have your will and have your way as I've gone through this content myself, to be able to really see and open up my eyes of understanding regarding volume and utility. And I pray that action steps will be taken during this new series of content. Thank you for the Q1 to Q4 topics. And I believe that by faith, someone's going to be able to go back, see the recording, implement these steps in their own business, and really see the results. And so, God, have your will and have your way. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, family. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to do presentation style with these type of content modules today. In the next few weeks, this is going to more than just be a presentation. I'm going to go through an actual worksheet. So you're really getting some value out of these. I want to do something different. And I wanted to do this because some of us are struggling with getting clients. That's why you're in this group. Even though we learned Q1 through Q4, the foundational principles of the Legacy Builders community, we talked about automation. We're going to get back to some specific tools in 2025, because you all know it's about AI with integrity next year. And I want to make sure that we are connected when it comes to really getting the clients that we deserve. You all deserve to get clients. I want you to put that in your heart and in your mind. You deserve to get clients. If you're really putting in the work and you're doing the things necessary to flow in your business, we got to make sure that you're getting a pipeline of people who need what you have. So that's what we're going to go over today in part one. So let me go ahead and share my screen and go through the presentation. First, I'm going to go through the presentation a little bit, and I'm going to bounce around to the document. Week one of the client getting strategy. In our legacy value system, we just have some context. We all know that we have what's called the vision session. After that vision session, we're going to help you identify your ideal client. With that ideal client, you'll be able to know exactly who you are targeting, who is the identity of who you want to work with as a coach. If you don't know who you're serving, you're not going to be able to deliver on your offer. Okay? Not every coach is called to work with people that have mental issues or clients that go through setbacks. If you're a life coach, some of us have different opportunities, and we have a certain audience that really resonates with us, because you should really work with people that you've experienced yourself in your own field. For example, if you are a manager for an organization and you want to develop some leadership skills, and you actually did get leadership skills, you probably want to work with other managers so that they can also develop leadership skills. Okay? If you're a marriage coach, you can't be a marriage coach and you're not married. Right? Unless you were married at a time, and maybe let's say, life happened, you got divorced, right? But as a marriage coach, it's going to be a little difficult to coach somebody who's married, especially if you're working with people who've been 15 years married and you haven't been married yourself. They're not going to trust you with anything you say, which they shouldn't, but you don't have the opportunity to bless them regarding what's happening in your own marriage. You're just going by, okay, here's this book I read and this is what you should do. That's not good. So we go through the ideal client profile session together. After that, we then launch your offer. Right? I'm going through just the context of the legacy value system, and I'm getting somewhere with this. Once we launch your offer, right, we have to craft the offer. Then we're going to share with you how to close. Because once you get these people coming in, how you close them, right? So we teach you how to close using the bank code. Once you have the bank code activated, once we have your system up with that, then we are going to bring the people to you through our automation traffic system, right? No complicated ads, funnels, outreach. We know how to do that. And we're going to guarantee that once we launch your offer, we're going to generate 1 to 3 clients in 7 days, okay? In the midst of you generating those 1 to 3 clients, doesn't just stop there. We now will get involved with what we're going to cover today, which is the client getting strategy. In other words, we're teaching you how to fish, right? We got to teach you how to fish so that you can be able to fish for yourself, right? If I kept giving you fish to eat and I run out, I got to go back and get some more fish so that you can continue to stay hungry, right? I want to teach you how to fish. This is what this session is going to do today, all right? Last but not least, we leave the legacy. That legacy session, which is in phase 3, is we help you build your team. That's the last phase of the legacy value system, is we help you build your team. You can't do all of these things by yourself. You get, let's say, 10 to 100 clients. You can't manage all of them by yourself. You need a team. You need a client success coach. You got to have an account manager, right? Someone that actually specializes in the sessions other than just you, right? So we help you build your team, and we also are able to duplicate that success through our phoneless selling system. All right, so that's the context behind the legacy value system. Anytime I do a new series, I always want to go back to that, because this part today is going to cover the money flow, right? The money flow. Value equals volume times utility. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Value equals volume times utility. What do I mean by money flow and value, right? Money flow is exactly the pipeline or the consistency of leads and clients and revenue that you receive because of what you poured out, right? So the money flow is exactly the consistent leads or the clients and revenue that you put out to receive that in return. So in other words, the money flow, it deals with a pipeline, right? And the value part of this formula that I'm gonna really dive into coming up after this slide, the value equals volume times utility, right? Value is not exactly what you exchange only, because value does come with an exchange, but it's not just an exchange. It has to be an exchange of what you put out that someone from their perspective says, you know what? I got it. I understand it. That's going to help me. I get it. Right. So when you think about value, everybody says, I'm going to add value, these types of things. Well, if you're going to add value, it has to be something that someone from their perspective can understand it, whether it's a message, whether it's an offer, whether it's a PDF. Remember, this comes in various different formats. Whether it's a webinar, it has to be from their perspective clear, understood, and these times it has to be short. Hence why you see that these master classes are no longer usually it's no longer than 30 minutes, because I realized that in a master class I have an attention span of literally 15 to 20 minutes to get out what I'm trying to put out. I need to get out what I'm trying to put out. Okay, so let's go to the formula. All right, I'm gonna share my screen again. This is where I'm gonna bounce around. So let me go ahead and go to my document right here. Okay, and again, I want you all to know that I've given credit to Bulletproof Entrepreneur. Again, thank you, John Whiting, for this wonderful resource that I was able to give and receive and be able to use it for my own business and to help my marriage coach growth partner. So shout out to Matt as well. He's used this and he's seeing a huge difference in what he needs to do. Okay, so let's make this plain. Once upon a time, and I'm gonna read this. I want you to see my screen here. I'm actually gonna make this a little darker for us to read. There we go. So once upon a time in a very engaging marketplace, there were two merchants named Jack and Jill, right? Jack was always busy creating products, but he rarely took the time to understand his needs, right? So he was always in the trenches. Some of us are Jack right here. Raise your hand if you want to be Jack, right? All right. Now, Jill, on the other hand, consistently, keyword there, consistently engaged with her customers, listened to their concerns. She improved on her different offerings and their input, right? How many of y'all want to be Jill? Raise your hand or put a comment in the chat if you want to be Jill, right? One day, a wise old sage or a wise person came to this marketplace, right? They came on LinkedIn. They came on Facebook. They may have came to your trade show. They came on the webinar. They asked Jack, why do you look so troubled, my friend? And Jack replied, I work hard, but my business is struggling, and I don't know why. Okay? My business is struggling, and I don't know why. Jack replied, I work hard, but my business is struggling, and I don't understand why. That wise old sage told Jill and said, and you, Jill, why do you have a smile on your face? What's going on, Alan? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. We actually are in the money flow session as we speak. Go ahead and tune in. Now, with Jill, she responded, I've learned that the more value I put out into the world, remember I just mentioned that value equals volume times utility. Keep that in mind. The more my business grows, I listen to my customers and consistently improve my products and services. I told you all, some of us are Jack, some of us are Jill. Some of us are working so hard in our business, but we're struggling. And then some of us are Jill, where we're actually listening and engaging with our clients, and we're seeing our business grow. Are you all starting to see a pattern? I hope so, because I'm about to get right into it. We're going in. So this wise old sage said, remember this, a business is like a well. Alan, I want you to screenshot this. It's very important. A business is like a well. The more you pour into it, the more you can draw from it. But if you only take without replenishing, that well is going to dry. Okay? The reason why I wanted to share that briefly with you all is because a lot of us are struggling in our coaching platforms, our consulting platforms, because we're pouring out a lot, but it's not the right value. So we can't draw from it because the value is diminished, right? So the more that you pour into it the right things, the more you can also draw from it. And here's the truth. The amount of value, which is leads, calls, clients, etc., that flows into your business is directly proportional to the amount of value you consistently put out into the marketplace through your content. What do I mean by that? I know it's a lot. So the amount of what you put out, the amount of what you put out is what you're also going to go in. I have a chart here. In other words, outflow equals inflow. Okay? Outflow equals inflow. I need you to burn this in your minds today. If you don't get nothing else from the money flow session, outflow equals inflow. You have to give and do enough things of activity outside of value to also get that back in return. It's truly an equation. And here's the heart of today's presentation. Here's the matter. Value equals volume times utility. What is volume? Volume is easy. It's the amount of something. It's how many, right? If you're in 3 Facebook groups and you engage 3 posts a day, 3 times 3 is 9, right? So 9 of something. Utility is how useful those posts are in those groups. If you're only posting, hey, I had a good day in my client session, hope you all join my group, from that person's perspective, that's not valuable. But if I'm a coach and I said, I'm working on an offer to help clients with leadership mentality structures or helping them change their mindset when it comes to leading teams, who's interested in learning more? See the difference? I'm being unselfish versus telling people my success. So from their perspective, they're going to comment and say, hey, I'm interested. I'm a leader because you're in the leadership group. And I need to learn how to structure my different sessions. So the bottom line is, if the clients and the leads and the money are flowing into your business, it means you're not putting enough value into the world. And I'm going to say that again. I know that's a mouthful. And I want to make this a little bit bigger for us. If clients, leads, and money are not flowing into your business, it means you're not putting enough value into the world. Period. You know how the young kids say, period, period. Okay? So that's the value equals volume times utility. When I first heard that, Alan, I was so messed up because I was like, I'm not putting out enough. I'm not doing enough outreach, right? I don't have a system that's putting out what I need. And now I have it. And now I can go to the next part, right? Now we got this utility equation. I ain't warned y'all up front. I told you I'm going to do a little bit of math on this thing too. See, when it comes to utility, remember, utility is what? From their perspective, right? How useful is something from their perspective? If I'm on Amazon, I think y'all can relate to this. Here we go. If I'm on Amazon Marketplace and I'm looking for a good book, right? I'm going to buy that book because from my perspective, I need to read something that's going to get me more what? Knowledge, wisdom, expertise. We all do this, whether it's a book, a product, something for your house or your bathroom, whatever it is, it's valuable from your perspective. It's not useful to Amazon. It's useful to you. But you know how it becomes a utility from their perspective? When they put out other things that, you also may like this, and they pop up on your websites, and you see it on the right. You all know what I'm talking about. That's how Amazon makes their money. They figured out if we show them enough of what they may need and what we can suggest, the more that we do this volume, the more from their perspective, they'll buy it. We do this all the time, y'all. This is how they're able to make money. This is what separates first-tier coaches to third-tier coaches, is knowing this formula. I've practiced it. I've done it. Okay? Now we get into utility, right? Another powerful equation. Utility equals clarity times speed times relevance. And yeah, we're doing some long division, but it's not with numbers. Receive divided by receive times understood. Aaron, what in the world are you talking about? I got y'all. Utility equals clarity times speed times relevance divided by receive times understood. Let's break down those words. Clarity is right here. Clarity is one who is able to understand what you're putting out. If I'm a golfer and I know that the word arbitrage means X amount of shots on that hole, but I'm trying to tell somebody who plays basketball what an albatross is. They're not going to understand that because they've never played golf before. Okay. And we've done that before in our coaching. We mentioned a topic, but to somebody that's new, it doesn't make sense. They're not able to understand it. And that's why I think some of us are struggling because the message is not clear. It has to be brief. It has to be simple, right? That's clarity. Speed is my favorite one. In other words, how fast or how quick can you put out that message about X, whether it's golfing, leadership coaching, what have you, consulting? How fast can you put that out? And I'm not talking about a direct message or an ad. How fast, period, can that clear message get out for you to get something back? That's what that means. Okay? So we got clarity, we got speed, and now we got relevance. Relevance is how is it closely related or connected for use, right? Relevance, in other words, is how important is it? Is it closely related to golf? Is it closely related to consulting? Is it closely related to leadership, right? How relevant is it? Because if it's not clear and the message is not, understood and it's not being taught in a manner for people to really grab it quickly and it's not important, your people are probably not getting what you want. They're probably not. And I'll give you a perfect example before I go into the bad and the good type of utility. Our generation, you all know I'm 33 years old, right? I'm young. Our generation listens to podcasts and watches videos more than actually being in a room with somebody face to face, right? Just guilty. We're guilty. I'm going to tell you all the weaknesses. I'm telling you our weakness. We don't like conversation. Now, I do. I'm probably a rare one. I love conversation. I can have a conversation with you for hours because I've built relationships. But even in my conversations, I got to make sure that I stay relevant. I got to stay clear. It has to be a fast message to where, not me talking fast like this and trying to do an auction, not that, but quickly in terms of, hey, do you get this or not? Do you understand what I'm talking about regarding automation? Do you even know what automation is, right? It has to be clear, short, simple, fast, relevant. Today, I want you to check your messages, check what you're doing, even your landing pages. Remember, we did a session on landing pages, I think in Q1 of our content masterclass several months ago. Is your landing page unclear? Is it too long? Is it some big words? And is it a slow response to where people put in their name, but they don't put in the rest of the information? Is it irrelevant? Because see, we don't want to put out things in this well that's not causing us to get back value from the well. We don't want to keep putting out things that are not understood. And that's why I wanted to go through that model because, and I'm going to skip a couple of things here because of time. This value flow has to be consistent, right? Our messages, how we do what we do as coaches and consultants or growth partners, it has to be consistent, right? Because we know this is a numbers game. See, there's going to be a percentage of people that will be interested in your offer. It's just the way it is. Just like I told you earlier, we have 422 people in our group now. Guess what? Not all of us are active in that group. I get it. But there's a certain few that are. It's about 5 to 10 people where I know I can call them out right now that I know that will either comment or actively involved. So it's a percentage of that. There's a percentage of those who want to talk to you. Out of those that want to talk to you, there's going to be a percentage that will want to do a call with you. Come on, somebody. And there's going to be a percentage of even those that want to call you that will actually give you money. And so our goal within each stage is to be able to sell them and move them to the next stage. I hope y'all catching this. We got to move people to each stage of our funnel. So I think what's happening is, I'm going to blow this one up a little bit in terms of the chart. This is really how it goes, right? Here's us, Jack or Jill, whichever one you want. See, here's what we do. We want to give outflow, whether it's a video, short form, right? Short form video. This is kind of what we give out. And then we go through this funnel, right? The awareness stage. We want people to know. But see, what we do is we get stuck here and we don't get people interested because we're not giving enough outflow. We only do it maybe one time and then we quit. They ain't like my page. All right, bye. So therefore, we get stuck in awareness. We don't even get them to interested, and then from interested to the conversation, and then etc. Right? And then if we look, granted, we get them on a book call and then close them. That's really the ideal scenario, to get them all the way through our funnel stages. Because eventually, it don't even matter what the offer number is, right? I know people that make 100,000 a month, but you know why they're able to make 100,000 per month? Is because there's a top 1% of that 10% of millionaires that actually do this, what I'm showing you, right? There are some of us in here that are not doing enough outflow, and we're getting stuck just in awareness. And I want to help us break through that today. Let's break through that today, okay? With the time I have left remaining, I want to go back to the presentation. Let me go back briefly here to our presentation, because I said I would jump back and forth. Bear with me 1 second. I hope you all are getting something out of this session today. I know I'm being blessed. I think a lot of breakthrough is happening right now regarding really what we're putting out, because this is what volume is, and this is what value is. Value is exactly what is attracted to you, right? We have to see value as attraction, right? What are we giving clients? How are we standing out from the competition? Because there's a lot of leadership coaches. Y'all are in this group. But what makes your leadership coach different from a Tony Robbins or a Grant Cardone? What makes you different, right? Even in the volume, even as you're putting out things, a lot of people that are texting us each and every day. We're looking on our phones, the notifications, right? But is what you're putting out different than the others? How are people seeing it from their perspective? That's utility. How are they actually seeing what you're putting out, okay? Let's go through this last slide here. Again, I think I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pick it up next week. Again, 30 minutes tops on these. I'll go further than that because of our time. When we deliver valuable content, these are 4 things I want us to keep in mind as we end this call. When we deliver valuable content, we want to make sure that it's energizing. That it's energizing. If you were a door knocker, and I know some door knockers that were actually going door to door, selling solar, selling different insurance policies back in the day, right? They were energized. They didn't say, hey, you want solar? Right? They didn't do that. They're like, hey, what's going on, so-and-so? Listen, are you tired of the electricity bills being so high and you want an alternative to be able to save, right? Yeah. Or they slam the door in their face, right? But they were energized about delivering the content. Some of our content is not energized. It's dead. We're using ChatGPT and not our own voice. Come on, y'all. I know what y'all doing, because I was doing that too. I'm only telling you things I used to do, and I had to break through from that. Let's get back to the human element of our content. If you're going to use ChatGPT, let's use it as a tool, but you can train it so that it can have your own voice, but still proofread it, right? Number 2, are we scheduling our content? Are we scheduling our content? Do we actually have a plan in place that every Tuesday or Thursday at 3 p.m. or every Tuesday and Wednesday we have X? Is it scheduled? Because we got to get people on a rhythm, right? Our rhythms were interrupted in 2020. Can we all say yes to that? Everybody's rhythm was interrupted in 2020. It's okay. So even in your groups or your platforms, do people even hear from you throughout the week? Do they see your face? Right? Why do you think I do masterclasses each week? I don't just put out content just because. I want y'all to see me. Okay? So it's on a schedule. Next thing here, is it repurposed? Right? Is your content able to be reused? And maybe you're teaching it in a different way. And that's okay. You can repurpose your content, but is it being taught in a way that people can understand it? It's clear. It's not too long. It's relevant, right? We're going back over those definitions of utility. And then last but not least, does your content help you avoid burnout, right? Does your content help you avoid burnout? Today, all I wanted to do, and I'll get to burnout at another time, but all I wanted to do in this first session is really go over the money flow. I wanted to tell you about volume and utility, right? Even when it comes to burnout, some of us are doing too much in our businesses. We're struggling. We're like Jack in the beginning, and we're not being agile. we want to make sure that we are engaging with our coaches and our clients because they need us. Guess what? I need you. That's why I have you here in this group. That's why I appreciate you, Alan, coming on this call because I need you. I don't want you to be burned out. I want the best for you. And that's why we do these sessions. So I'm going to open up the floor. That's all I got for the day. Alan, did you have any questions?
No, but I don't look for customers. I'm not looking at clients as such. I can't do the Zoom meetings, and I can join the Zoom meetings. I can't set them up because I can't actually see the screen properly. So I'm trying to put my programs onto a platform where people will go and they'll see them. But I don't post, I don't do anything like that. It's just beyond my means. So for the last 12 months, I've not really done anything. And the last 3 months, I've spent more time in the hospital than anywhere. So,
oh man, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I am. I definitely pray for your recovery in due time that you'll be able to manage your business the way that you need to. I do.
well, my way of looking at it, I'd hope to do a Christmas campaign. I've grown my beard, especially for Christmas, because I've got a mobility scooter. Instead, I was hoping to get the front half of a reindeer and fasten it onto the front. And I wanted all the posters of all the charities where I volunteered on the back, and a big notice raising £1 million for charity, and the links to my programs. And hopefully, I could have made some major sales. But I came out of hospital again on Friday. I haven't been outside since. I don't know what I can do now. My programs aren't ready to go online. And, well, I came seriously ill in June.
Yeah.
I've been ill. Well, I fell a year ago. That put me behind, and then things have caught up, and I'm kind of struggling at the moment. So I'll probably miss this year's campaign, and whether I'll be still around for next year, I don't know. But, I put my effort in, but I've kind of run out of energy now.
I completely understand, man. Thank you for being honest with your situation. Again, I'm praying for you that you do recover in due time. And know that I want to be able to help you be able to launch so that at least by Christmas you can get a few sales. And so what I'm going to do for you, if you're open to it, I would love to see behind the scenes what you're working on exactly to be able to show you what platforms you can put your content on and be able to help you with that, no charge. I will do that on the house. I want to help you put that content on the right platform. That's the least I can do for you if you would allow
Well, you've heard of the Great Discovery?
Yes, I actually have heard of the Great Discovery. Stephen, what's his last name? Stephen and him and someone else are the founders behind that. Yep.
Right. Well, I joined as a course creator. I actually joined. I joined February as an affiliate, and then once I realized what I was able to do, I think it was April I became a course creator, but I've just not been well enough to make progress. And the person that was helping me has stopped. And the whole thing has just ground to a halt. I can't do the AI. It's beyond my means. I don't know the right questions, the prompts and things like that.
Sure.
I've got a mindset program. I'm a mindset coach, right?
Okay.
I've been teaching and coaching mindset since my own mindset shift when I was a teenager. That's 63 years I've been into mindset. So I've been, coaching mindset, but it's gone onto the internet, and I'm not good on the internet, especially when I can't see what I'm doing properly. So it was a case of create the program,
Mm-hmm.
and it's self-paced. So they go on, they find it, and then they just follow the program. So I've got the first 8 chapters of of a program done out of 24. And
Okay.
I've come to a halt at that point. Now, once it's done, my program was designed for students, to transform students into high achievers. But the person that was helping me created the first or transformed the first 8 chapters, and then said, well, we can do it for students,
Mm-hmm.
students and teenagers. We can do a second version for entrepreneurs, and the third version for people approaching retirement. Now, one of the things I've learned is that the bulk of men die within 2 years of retiring. It's a mindset problem.
Yeah.
So it was the men I thought, well, I can tackle that first. But basically, I can create one program and then convert it to 3. So that's what I was trying to do. Unfortunately, the person who was helping me has stopped helping me, and I'm now stuck. I wanted a learning techniques program onto there, so that would have been 4 programs. I've got my A to G of success, which would have been a free giveaway. And if I'd have had the opportunity, I've got a debt management program that needs to be updated.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been working on a public speaking program, but I'm so far behind with that. That's just not likely within the next 6 months or so. But the others are at a point where they could go on, but I need to have it all done by the end of November so I can actually do the Christmas campaign. Dressed up as Santa Claus at Christmas.
Okay.
And put that in the papers, the local radio, and the local television. It would create a lot of publicity for me. But it's just difficult when I can't even stand up properly because my head goes busy. Last week I had an implant connected to my heart so that they can monitor my heart constantly. I had a heart monitor connected to me for a week while I was in hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It was external, and nothing went wrong while I'm in hospital. I come home and I start getting my normal activities, and I can't stand it. I collapse. I go back into hospital. They fit another heart monitor onto me, but I'm in hospital.